Hi. As you see, yesterday BJP came up with the first list of candidates for Karnataka. 189 candidates were listed, and of which 52 of them uh, were new. So today we are going to discuss about a similar kind of things that were happened earlier in Gujarat elections and in other places as well, where BJP actually did a rejig of the entire list of candidates, and they put up new faces. And that, are they following the same strategy here? Are they? Is it going to help BJP in Karnataka? What kind of is the strategy going to be the same, or how is it going to help BJP get back to its form? So we have with us a political analyst, Preeti Nagraj, who has seen politics from a larger perspective, and she has been covering politics for a while. So going forward, you'll be hearing me and Preeti Nagraj to discuss about the same thing. Good morning, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Vishwanath.
So as you know, yesterday what happened was, like, in a press conference, the BJP came out and said that they are gonna give out names of 189 candidates, and they did. And among which around 52 candidates, they actually have posted new faces in place of previous people, like maybe they were MLAs and MLCs and other MPs and even ministers have been replaced by new faces. So let's go to the actual uh, announcement that was made, and then I'll get back to you on that.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की उसमें उपस्थिति थी। माननीय डिफेंस मिनिस्टर राजनाथ सिंह जी और गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी सहित सभी चुनाव समिति के सदस्यों ने वह जो प्रदेश की चुनाव समिति थी ने रिकमेंडेशन किया था, उन नामों पे चर्चा की। उसके बाद जैसे आदरणीय धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी ने बताया, 189 इतनी सीटों की उन्होंने क्लियरेंस दी, जिसकी आज हम घोषणा करने वाले हैं। ये नाम पढ़ने से पहले एक ही चीज मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा। सबसे बड़ी विशेषता अगर देखेंगे इस पूरी सूची में, तो आपको दिखेगा कि पूरी सूची में जो हमारे फेस कैंडिडेट, नए लोगों को मौका देने वाली भारतीय जनता पार्टी, उसमें से 52 लोग ऐसे हैं जिनको नए लोग हैं, जिनको भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने उनको चुनाव के लिए चुना, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कैंडिडेट होंगे।
So, ma'am, as you see in the announcement, they actually made clear that there will be 52 new candidates. With the current set of things that are happening in Karnataka, do you think this move has been brought in only to reject the thing, or is it the strategy that has worked for them earlier as well?
I think in Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat, the way they approached about building the party cadre and also, ensuring that there is a lot, they infused a lot of new faces in Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh gradually, like one election to another. You could see the progression very strongly happening in both states, and it has paid off in the Hindi speaking belt, or in the belt where where BJP has had a very strong presence. Karnataka, though it looks like there is a very strong presence of BJP, it is also a state that has chosen different parties over a period of time. I mean, we should also understand that the communities that are looking like they're backing BJP right now are the communities that have shown very swaying voting patterns. For instance, the coastal Karnataka has always been a place where the extreme of politics has worked as far as the polarization is concerned. But the Lingayat community that has shown very strong allegiance to BJP was because of the 2020 arrangement that went bad between JDS and BJP coalition government, that had come into existence only through Operation Kamala again. I mean, JDS took back its support. This was in 2008, if you remember, the
Yeah.
late 2000, if you remember. And even that, this this strategic backdoor entry. I mean, I wouldn't call it backdoor, though I'm using the word because I'm thinking uh, our constitutional framework allows these uh, moves to be made in terms of administration of a state, or it's constitutionally valid. So I would say they're using the spaces where they can come in, and from then I don't see such a strong push by the BJP to strengthen its base in Karnataka and move on to Tamil Nadu. I think the BJP thinks this Karnataka is a stepping stone to Tamil Nadu, and unfortunately Tamil Nadu is like pushing back very strongly.
Uh, what I think is, like, say for example, as you said, 2008 and 2000, the subsequent elections in 2018 as well. Uh, what this state being a tri-party state, usually JDS has a say in either of the elections, and in the past, like close to around 3 decades, we don't have a single party rule which has come into power. Uh, do you think the BJP is trying to reverse this thing, by this entire trend, by coming up with this new strategy? Because it might actually backfire, but as you see in the recent years, like wherever BJP has brought in new faces, has dropped a whole lot of MLAs and sitting ministers, they've actually gained vote share, and they have actually like progressed well, and they have won seats, and they have been able to have majoritarian governments in such places. So what
What's
do you think? How?
amazing, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? Uh, do you think BJP is reading it right, or saying that Karnataka as a state is no different from either UP or Gujarat or any other thing, and
As
they think that this works here?
Yeah, Vishwanath, I wish it was the case. I wish, as somebody who's seen politics for close to 2 decades or a little more, I wish I could say that this is a very wonderful plan, and I I wish we could say this, but I think this is a grand risk. That is what I would like to call the list as we see right now: 182 names and 52 new faces, and I think the new ones are not very. I mean, new ones not extremely certain about their strategy. I'm not sure. I mean, at the ground level, we are still kind of trying to um, see their presence, and the old heads are not very happy about being left out or not being consulted either.
Exactly.
See, this
Yeah.
this is this is exactly what I think was 70s of Congress was. Though I was a toddler at that time, but I think this is a cycle that every political party goes through, where you get completely confident, and sometimes it clicks, and sometimes it doesn't. See, to think that
But for
BJP made a very strong presence in 2008, as in strong presence, as in BJP showed that they matter in the game in 2008 for the
Yeah.
first time, right? Though Yadurappa and the people before him and the leaders before him made a lot of efforts to make sure BJP kind of gains a strong foothold. It's a very wonderful journey for BJP so far. But for the last so many years, I mean, we have seen only one full term government, and Karnataka, if I'm not wrong, has had a handful of full term governments. Only three, I think, only three full term chief ministers we've seen. So this state is what it is, despite its politicians, not because of its politicians. If I'm not wrong, we have just had three full term CMs. I would like to stand corrected on this if this number is wrong. Um, and in the recent times, we've had only Sidramaya run a full term administration as a CM,
Yeah.
right? So, as it stands now, I would like to call this a grand risk. And again, these names being, considered, given names being, spoken about by the Delhi. Uh, I mean, politicians sitting in Delhi, the high command, what the BJP calls, and the high command that the BJP detested so much about the Congress, and and only about Congress. I mean, there are no other parties that have been fitting opponent to BJP, but the very high command culture, I see it completely engulfing the BJP that we see today. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a secret anymore that um, the Lingaites feel the Lingaites have been feeling the heat of not being so inevitable for BJP,
yeah,
and this was even spoken in very certain words by none other than CT Ravi, who said we don't have to. I mean, the party doesn't need to, doesn't need to. Keep the Lingaites in good books, or he said something like we don't have to, kind of hold them very close to us anymore, or we don't
but
have to
don't you think?
pamper them anymore.
But
Yeah,
don't you think, with the kind of prominence BS Yediyurappa is gaining right now, and with the reservation game that's being played out, even Sidramaya actually gambled the last time and he actually lost it. So, don't you think this is pretty much late for BJP, because another 3 days and the nomination start, and the list has already come out late, pretty late. So, at this moment of time, having rebellions in the backyard, like rebellions as in like the party cadres, the party workers who have lost tickets, or who were actually thinking of getting a ticket but they didn't. The major two upsets were Ishwarappa and Jagdish Shettar, the former chief minister of Karnataka and leader of opposition as well previously. So don't you think a lot of these kind of things are gonna happen, and which will again be a task for BJP to take care of?
I think you're completely right on this. See what happened with Ishwarappa hurriedly announcing his retirement from politics. Ishwarappa, we all know, has been this person who, even if he was irrelevant, he was still present in politics. Even if he spoke things that kind of embarrassed BJP a lot of times, he was a very unlike BJP person, but was a very staunch BJP politician, right? I mean,
Yeah,
so what happened with the Ishwarappa's retirement announcement now is that the entire load of leading the Kuruba community, and with that, the entire the cadre of I mean, not the cadre, but the entire Kuruba community and the allied communities is now on Sidramaya.
yeah.
So
So
obviously the community is looking at. I mean, so I think it's going to be advantage Sidramaya, and whatever BJP has done, taking Somana and kind of putting him in Varuna, for the presence of Lingayats, large number of Lingayats in Varuna. We all know that last time it was very close that Vijayendra would have fought from Varuna, and that he had already done his groundwork at Varuna, and he was and then he was and then he kind of didn't. And Siddharamaya's son, Dr. Yatindra, he stood from there, and he kind of won. So I'm saying this this banking on Lingayat presence, and also making Vijayendra pass on his groundwork to Somanna, who had a large presence in, like, I'm just saying this as a very an example of how these equations have worked. Somanna, who fought from very safe and and that constituency where he had a very
yeah,
strong
anyhow,
presence. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
anyhow, is he and R. Ashok are the two candidates who are actually contesting from two different constituencies.
Yes. So
So
there
basically,
is,
even if
yeah.
V. Somana loses here in Varuna, he might actually win in the other seat. So, coming back to the main point we were talking, the inclusion of new faces, the
Mm,
freshness, or what. So, in this, when you see there are recommendations that are given by the state committee as well when the seat selection happens. So, do you think the list given by the state the state party the state leaders was not satisfactory enough, and it was entirely brushed off. And this new strategy was brought in so that whatever whatever things that are happening, the incumbency part that comes into picture will not play out, and BJP can actually gain a bit of traction by bringing in new faces.
Mm, I would like to think that this is a major winning strategy, but I'm thinking this is a cleansing of BJP that's happening. Like you can see post 2014, we have seen the central unit of BJP cleanse itself of the old generation, right? We saw that the old loyalists of the ones that served with Sri Vajpayee ji have been gradually moved to the side wing or have been made irrelevant over a period of time, and some of them even passed away, right?
Yeah.
So this BJP that we're seeing now is a new BJP in Karnataka that is more robust and will be more durable with the age of the contest, the 52 fresh faces being like on an average pretty less, so that they can kind of serve the party for quite some time. So if you see the highly
You call it
aged,
the nurturing and grooming of the
I think
new
so.
age
I
for
think
the
so. Yes, yes,
next 10
yes,
years, 15 years?
yes. So I'm thinking whoever served as a whoever won the elections in '94. I mean, like starting from '94, whoever had won elections then, most of them have been dropped. So you stay relevant in politics for like 2 decades, then you're gone. So it's not even like coming of age. It is just that you're you're like timing them out, and you're bringing in a new set of loyalists. And trust me, these people who won elections in '94 and post that, they were all Yadurappa loyalists. So BJP, while it is kind of looking like it is nurturing Yadurappa, looking like it's looking up to Yadurappa in a leadership role, it's an open secret that it's not so simple, right? So now when you bring in 52 new faces in 182 among 182 candidates,
89,
you
89,
are
189.
189, sorry, 189 candidates, you are giving almost one third of new set of people, right?
Yeah.
So your best cadre that was there with Yadurappa when he was nurturing the party is now going to be replaced with a whole new set of people who have been given a chance to contest these elections. And even if most of them win, let's say 40 of them or 35 of them win, you have 35 strong new presence in the house. So that's
So,
again a
strategically, do you think it will pay off for BJP?
I would like to think I think it's a very grand risk. I'm not sure how it is going to turn out. I think some communities have been extremely upset. You can see a spree of resignations already happening after this,
But
and some
that
people
was
have
already
withdrawn.
there. Like they might have already expected it, because like the same thing happened when they did it in Gujarat, when they did it in other places as well. Uh, I would like to quote one thing when while researching on this, I came across a quote by a Madhya Pradesh
Hmm.
MLA saying that we need to plow fields to prepare land for agriculture and remove rancid roots before sowing new seeds,
Yes,
which we
I
can term as the Gujarat formula in existing political setup.
yes,
So,
yes,
do you
yes.
think all these all these sitting MLAs or the leaders who have lost close to around 22 of them who were either ministers or MLAs or had a chance of getting a ticket were deprived of it? So, do you think these were the rancid roots that have been removed, or is it that the new seeds needed that space and they were just let go?
I think the new seeds needed a place, and the new seeds were necessarily new seeds that did not, grow under the shadow of old tree. So I think That is where the BJP is trying to kind of shed the image of being groomed by, being nurtured by Yadurappa's camp, or by his sacrifice, or by his work, or, by his strategy, something, whatever, So I think Yadurappa is Karnataka's Vajpayee, if I'm not wrong, in terms of BJP wanting to come out of
Of
its,
course, with 40 years of experience in politics and
yeah,
having 3 to 4 times him, and also
yes,
being the leader of opposition. So
yes.
obviously he's the, we can say, the Brihaspati of, like, or the
Also, the
Bhishma.
13-day
Bhishma.
tenure.
They call him the Bhishma. Bhishma
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Karnataka
Also,
politics.
yes. Also his tenure of like shortest serving tenure as CM, where he
Yeah.
took oath, and then and then
Next
subsequently he
day, yes.
came and resigned. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all that, it's kind of pretty. It looks pretty tragic for Yadurappa's followers. You can see a lot of emotional moments by leaders across communities, starting from Ishwarappa's family, and to Raghupati Bhatt expressing that I would have resigned myself if they had
Yes.
told me, and they were all pretty emotional, and then Shankar and all that. So I'm thinking this is a very, very strong game that the BJP leadership is playing, considering this time they need to come in with large majority. Will this pay off? Um, I would like to think that uh, the the current government led by Mr.
Mr.
Bommai.
Bommai.
Yes, so it's kind of been discredited highly at by people. So I think it's a very tough thing, and probably this may kind of add up to the discontentment already brewing in people's mind, unless there's a massive overhaul of election related activities by BJP to kind of make sure their candidates win as a party.
Yeah.
So if
So,
it's
see,
tough, it's
there's
going to
one
be
more
very
question
tough.
that comes in. There's
Yeah.
one more question that comes in. That's the turncoats.
Hmm.
Just sorry. Okay. So the next question that comes in is about the turncoats. The Congress turncoats who had joined recently, or who had joined during the last tenure, during the bipolar elections that happened, when they actually shifted base from Congress and JDS to the BJP, have still retained seats, and they have been credited for the loyalty they have shown to BJP, of course. So that doesn't play out well with the BJP cadre as well, I think.
No, even then it didn't play well. It didn't play well, and
So
and
does
there
it
was a
affect
lot
now
of,
also, because they still have they still have got the tickets. They
yes,
still are contesting on a BJP ticket.
yes, yes.
So how does it play out on the loyalists? Because the loyalists, the BJP loyalists, as I can call them, who have worked much more years than what the new set of Congress turned BJP leaders. So does it not play out bad on them?
I was speaking to a BJP leader, who did not be named, of course. He was saying that this is a sign that BJP, that the party is is getting out of our own hands. Like, as far as Karnataka is concerned, he said the party is getting out of our own hands. So I understand this in a very metaphorical or pragmatic sense, that the party that they thought was theirs is not theirs, right? They were all. They are all seen as people who serve the party, and will be made irrelevant the moment the party decides to change its strategy. I am thinking that is bound to have some bearing on the voting pattern for sure, because in Karnataka, in Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat, uh,
Yeah.
the voting patterns are different, right? But in Karnataka, you vote for your community leaders. You don't vote for an ideology. In Uttar
Yeah,
Pradesh
that,
and
that can be
Gujarat,
seen
there's a
even during the
common.
KJP thing that came out, like when
Yeah.
Yadurappa left BJP and
Yes.
formed his own
Yes.
party.
Yes. Yes.
The BJP actually, it was a dent in the
Yeah, it was.
BJP
It
spirit
was.
itself.
And BJP hasn't taken it very well even now. That Yadurappa could cause a dent, and BJP remembers. I mean, it's a very impressionable election for that matter. That and Yadurappa, even when he went back, it was quite. I mean, it was quite an apologetic return, rather. Uh,
Yeah, see for example, if you you said the right thing. You said like it's not the party that the it's not the party as such which only holds the uh, voters' mind, and the voter would come out and say, "I'll vote for BJP and not for the thing." Although a lot of us consider that most of them voted for Modi and not for the local MLA or the MP when they voted for. Since 2014, it was more on the Vishwas of Modi ji and not the local administrator or the local minister. But when you look at people like Shettar, people like somebody like Shettar who has won 4 to 5 times with a margin of 25-30,000 votes. So a lot of such MLAs and sitting ministers or have also been sacked or have not been given tickets. So do you think this is a gamble that BJP is playing with the kind of strategy, the Gujarat model or the kind of Gujarat strategy they have tried to implement here?
Yes, I think it's a huge gamble. I mean, that's what I call the grand risk, because I mean, they're looking at making the making the making the leaders irrelevant, and the leaders don't. I mean, the leaders don't have a monolithic identity. Like Shettar is a Lingayat, right? And
Yeah,
then Ishwarappa is a Kurupa. So you have leaders that are these link points to communities, and there are
yeah,
multiple communities. Like Angara is, it comes from this community which has had very less representation in politics, right?
yeah.
So all these leaders uh, who have joined hands with BJP in terms of making it robust, they've been denied tickets. And grapevine says that Shetter has a chance. I mean, even now, but not sure what happens.
Yeah, they
Even if
haven't mentioned, they
yeah,
haven't declared the seat yet.
yes.
Neither Hubli
So
Dharwad Central nor Shimoga has been declared
yes,
yet, like
yes.
who will be the
So we
candidate.
just know Shatter is upset, and I don't know. I mean, if the BJP perceives it as a threat, then maybe they will give in and kind of give him offer him a ticket. Even then, it will still be a dent. It will still be a very strong sign, especially that video that made rounds of CT Ravi saying nothing gets decided in Yadurappa's kitchen.
Now, do you think
Even the
that has
ticket.
been proved here? That
I
has been
think
proved
so.
here.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Although,
And there's
see,
also
even Yadurappa agreed to it. Yadurappa has clearly said it's a high command which decides who gets the ticket. So even he actually said about Vijendra as well. But in the last, he actually came out and said he won't be Vijendra won't be contesting from Varuna, but would be contesting from Sakleshpur.
Shikaripura. Yes,
Shikaripur. Yeah,
Shikaripura.
sorry.
Right. Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, he did. He did, and that's the appropriate thing to say, Vishwanath. Right now, we are only looking at politics of speaking to our leaders in a rather politically correct, strategic sense, and speaking to our voters with no accountability,
Yeah.
right? We, whatever accountability we have, our politicians have it only to their leaders, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
are the only ones that are holding them by their, holding them by their neck and say, but you know what, you should listen to us. And the leaders and the politicians will listen. But can a voter ever get a politician to, kind of be this accountable? I think whatever Yadurappa said is in keeping with the political practice, political correctness, and he said that, and maybe he feels it that way also. But today, I mean, now is the time of off the record being on the record. So we have these, we have Nalin Kumar Katil's, voice recording, audio recording making rounds. He's on call with somebody and he's saying, we are going to take out all the old timers and, please don't share it with
But
anybody. He's
but he
saying
was
that.
right. He was right. He actually said
Exactly.
the right
So
thing.
yeah, exactly. So I'm saying this is not completely undercover, right?
Yeah.
So there is a list that went from here. There is the list that looked like it went from here, and there is a list that was prepared in Delhi,
Yeah.
and
The prime
some
minister was
feedback.
upset,
Yes,
and
and
he
some
asked to
feedback is
reconsider
that.
the thing. Yes.
Yes, yes, and
So
then and
is
then
it
based
is
on
it
some.
because sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
No, no, no. I mean, I'm thinking, wherever they have felt incoherence of a winnability of a candidate as against his age, like Congress is very confident. I mean, they have 90-year-old, no problem. We will still give him a ticket. I mean, Congress is like no profit, no loss situation right now. I mean, if they make a comeback, they are in for a grand show.
Yeah.
But it's BJP that has to kind of maintain its stature.
When you look at the previous vote shares by both BJP and Congress has fairly done well. So they never found the necessity to change any candidates in there, and no fresh faces. In fact, if you look at the number of candidates they have given out so far, like the list of candidates who they have given out so far, like most of them, although they have lost or they have been in the runner-up in 2018, have still got the ticket to actually contest from the same constituency. Maybe because of the vote share they gained, and maybe because of
Yeah,
the
also,
margin
yes,
that was.
yes. The margin was so small that this time a little bit more push and they will still kind of they could still kind of make it. So the
Yeah,
Congress is now looking at retaining the trust of people from the last election, and kind of build on that sympathy that they are, and they've been constantly talking about how Yadurappa has been sidelined. So even this statement that whatever damage I think this Lingayat being a separate dharma strategy made for Sidramaya, which backfired. um, I think this time, at least half of it is going to affect BJP, if I'm not wrong. And this is going to happen across communities, not just Lingayats. I think across communities, in that sense of Urigowda and Nanjegowda case, where the Swamiji had to intervene.
yeah,
Vokaligas haven't taken it very kindly either. I mean, they feel. I mean, they're now much more consolidated in Mandya Hassan Ramnagar belt.
yeah. Do you think? See, with the allegations of corruption with Madar Virupakshappa's case and many other cases similar to that, wherein a lot of corruption-related issues happened, even with Ishwarappa, the Santosh Patil's case coming up. Uh, So, do you think this was a move that was already planned, premeditated, and it was to happen here
I
to
think
bring
so.
in
I
new
think
faces
BJP.
and sack these
Yes, yes, yes,
sitting
yes,
MPs and MLAs?
yes. Irrespective of Madal Virupakshappa, I will tell you something very, very funny. I mean, one of the community leaders, Madal Virupakshappa, as you know, is a Lingayat, right? One of the community leaders I was talking to, he said, I think we've been planted. He said Lingayats have been, Lingayats are going to be caught on a sticky wicket. And he said, you know how Arikanut growers, have money at home. I mean, they are naturally rich people. I mean, they are people that have large swaths of land, and really you think it was such a big amount. So corruption is a very relative term. So Madal Virupakshappa still has sympathy. I mean, I don't think it is seen as only urban voters that are not aware of how corruption works, and how community votes. They are the ones that are thinking, oh, corruption is such a big thing. But for anybody that has seen, that has seen how community works, how community comes together, how community has a congregation, how community leaders conduct themselves. It's not such a big deal that Mandal Virupakshappa was caught with some money. They actually think he was planted. He was, I mean, he was. This was a strategy to get him out of the race.
One
And
last
the
question
backlash has
before.
been. I wouldn't think it's a very very. I wouldn't think that it has caused any humiliation to the community.
Okay. Do you think, like, see, Gujarat has, not Gujarat, BJP has implemented this strategy of new faces or the new face wisdom uh, in states where they were incumbent. Do you think they'll continue to do the same thing no matter whether it's doing good or not doing good? And what do you think? Because
I
there are a couple of elections this year again, post
Yes,
Karnataka.
yes. I think they will try to kind of they will try to create a new set of leaders that last longer, durable, trustworthy, faithful, stronger, have more connect with the youth. BJP, as you know, has always been this youth centric. So I'm thinking that is what BJP's focus will be, and they will try to, if they'll, I mean, if Karnataka fails them in terms of not voting for them, not giving them a clear number of seats, not giving them enough number of seats to even conduct Operation Kamala, which we think is going to be inevitable, like last time. Like 2 3 elections they've done, Operation Kamala is what has saved them, right? So
Yeah.
in fact, if the number of seats are not even close to conducting an Operation Kamala, it gets very risky. I think they will let go of this election and and work on the MP elections next year. We are going to face them next year. However, in other states, I think they will try to learn South differently. I wish they do. I wish even Congress learns South differently from North, and try to have a good mix of both age old wisdom and the fresh uh, set of people.
Okay. So, based on whatever we have discussed, I would like to summarize it in a way where, like, uh, the BJP still has to look at its strategy, and we have to be very much watching this election, because whether this strategy, the Gujarat strategy, which has worked in other places, will it work in the southern state of Karnataka? That's
Yeah.
one bit. And the second bit is the influence of the disgruntled MLAs, MPs. How is it gonna play out, and how, whether this election would be a model or a test model for BJP to look forward in the southern states.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Preeti. Thanks for your time. It was really nice talking to you. Going ahead, we will be again meeting you for some other discussion on a similar topic. Thanks a lot
Sure.
for
Thank you so much,
being with us.
Vishwanath. Thanks for having me on the discussion. Thank you so much. I quite enjoyed. Thanks.
That's it for today, and we'll be coming up with more discussions on a similar kind, as it's a Karnataka election season, and there will be a lot of discussions on caste, a lot of discussions on how parties play out, and we'll see you again in another discussion going forward. Thanks a lot.